Yes.
Nice to
So
see you too.
those who don't know, Zen CV participated in X-Culture before, and I believe even twice already, right? So
Correct, 2 rounds.
yes, so and I personally like this company for several reasons. First and foremost, the company is in a business of basically helping people like our students. They develop professional looking CVs, resumes, as some people call them. CV stands, I think, for curriculum vitae, and I think that's Latin for basically a record of your life or something like that.
Correct.
So vita is life, curriculum, I think that is the record or something like that, or plan. So, but in any case, CV or resume. And so this is a very important, and plus they offer all kinds of other services, like they can help you with cover letter, as well as in a more general sense with applications for jobs. And so all of our students either are looking for jobs already or will be looking for jobs literally in a few months, maybe the most in a year or two. And I thought it would be beneficial for the students to, one, sort of understand that writing a CV is a sort of, it's not even an art, it's an art and a science. So there is something to it that you need to know. And so many students don't realize how important and how perhaps complicating or challenging this task may be. And the truth is that when you apply for jobs, there would be probably 100 other applicants, like literally, like for example, when we hire professors, we get anywhere between 100 to 200 applications. We're talking about like this much paper. And so I've been on the hiring committee probably about 8-9 times at my university here. And before that, I was in private sector as well. So I was hiring a few times. And in most cases, you are sort of, in that initial stage, you kind of look for ways to dismiss applications. You don't have time to read all of them. So you're not getting deep into each one. You're sort of, looking like, okay, this one, I don't like the font, and this one too short, too long, doesn't look right, or doesn't look appealing. And so you kind of put them aside right away. You're trying to sort of, simplify your job, and you're trying to select maybe 3, 4, 5 from that big stack. And so if your resume doesn't look right, that's a big problem. Like, for example, I'll tell you here in the United States for academic jobs, there are certain sort of standards for the CV. Like, for example, you never ever put a photo on the CV. I know in Europe, in the private sector, it's expected even sometimes or acceptable. In the United States, no, you don't put photos because, I don't want to see a photo, because if I don't give you the job, you can tell, oh, didn't give me the job because he didn't like my ethnicity, for example. So I don't even want to know if you're a man or a woman, if you are, what your race or ethnicity is. And so when I see a photo, I know the person is not experienced in this market. So the person is probably from somewhere else and has no clue how academic market works in the United States, because they don't even know how to, create a CV. And so, and things like that. Or for example, sometimes the person uses like some strange font, like, like something like, very, very unusual. Again, for academic jobs, you use Times New Roman or Arial. That's it. Maybe you can deal, experiment with Calibri, or what's the other one very popular, Galvatica or whatever it is.
Galvatica.
Yeah, but you don't go beyond those standard fonts. It is, like if I see something in, like in Comic Sans, I like, yeah, no, I don't think that person is serious. Now, Zen CV are experts in this, and they not only know how to do CV right, but if you saw their samples, like for some jobs, these are literally works of art. Like if you're applying for a job in IT or in graphic design or marketing, I mean, they will make your CV look like essentially an advertisement, not only for you, but for your skills. And so I highly recommend that you not only use this particular company, but in general, sort of learn about this whole business of CV writing. And so my hope here is that as you're trying to work on the challenge from Zen CV, you actually learn something from them. And I don't know, maybe even become their clients, but at the very least you learn that there is a service available like this, around the world. It's not the only company. So, but yeah. Another thing that I like about this company is that it's a relatively small new company founded by people, by person. And, I think there are several co-founders who are not unlike you, or who are not unlike you in a couple of years. And so again, my hope for this challenge is that it will also serve as an inspiration for the students. Most of you, I know, would like to start your own business soon. And so obviously we have some very big companies this semester as well. We have, like, for example, the largest truffle company in Asia, or one of the biggest companies that makes oil, canola oil in Australia. We have some big companies as well. But those are, you know, big companies with multi-decade history, and, you know, at some point you probably will have, you know, will be running a company like that as well. But in the immediate future, you probably will have an experience that is much closer to what Zen CV is going right now. Interesting idea, some competition, limited capital, a lot of will to succeed. And so, and perhaps limited, you know, not limited experience, but still, you know, limited connections. Not like you can just pick up the phone, call a venture capitalist and get a few $1 billion. As for example, Elon Musk could get probably, you know, a phone call. And so I thought the challenges that the company is dealing with now would be very educational for our students, because that's exactly what you will be dealing with in the next year or 2, 3, whenever you start your own business. So I see that as an educational opportunity. So here, obviously, we are trying to help the company, but in the process, I think the company, the challenge sort of helps our students learn.
We would love to be able.
Introduction. Very good to see you, Vladimir, again here.
Very good to see you too, Vasil. Thanks for the beautiful introduction.
So as always, maybe let's start with a quick review of what Zen CV is, what kind of product you have. And then for the students, please, you know, if you have any questions, you can type them in the Q&A window or raise your hand. We will add you to the panel and we can talk.
Sure.
Right? Okay. All yours.
Thanks for the intro. I would like to say that thank you for the students that are attending. Super happy that so many of you today here. We would like to, of course, reciprocate for your efforts as much as we can. So we actually designed the tasks within the challenge specifically so that actually you would be learning something useful for your career outside of the challenge itself by doing the tasks. For example, there are some tasks related to writing a blog article on the topic of how to write your CV. So by educating yourself on the topic of how to write a CV for the purpose of writing an article, you will actually get a lot of skills that will later be useful for your job search in a year or 2.
Exactly. And again, just to mention that many businesses, that's how they promote themselves. And so again, it doesn't really matter what industry or what company you write that blog post, but if you will have a small business and you will be advertising yourself, basically creating some presence on social media, that's exactly what you will be doing. And so again, a very useful exercise just to get a sense of how it works, how other companies do it. So very, very educational. We're actually trying to do it with Xculture as well, semi-successfully. So.
If you need some help, we will be very happy.
Maybe we should talk about maybe, yeah, so. All right.
Oh,
yes, please.
Oh, for sure. And also I would like to mention that I'm only 26 years old. So 2 years ago, I was also a master's degree student in business. And actually the idea was born somewhere in that period where my fiance, Federica, she just graduated from her bachelor degree in languages. She applied for 50 jobs. She sent her CV 50 times and she got 0 replies. So definitely writing a bad CV can, as Vasil explained in the beginning, be very inefficient, especially when on the other side there are lots of other candidates and the HR or the interviewer is wearing a black hat, meaning trying to find what's wrong in order to make their day easier. Yes, correct. CV writing is definitely an art and a science. It's not easy to understand all the different peculiarities and elements that need to go into the CV, and within that structure that must be set, you actually also can let your character shine through. So the way in which you write, the way in which you present yourself can make or break your job chances, and can make a good marketing pitch of yourself or can make a bad marketing pitch. Basically, Federica was struggling, so I decided to help her. I already had some experience in applying for jobs, and I was also working in sales in London, so I knew how to craft a personal sales pitch. We reworked her CV both from the aspect of design and content, and the result was super good. She sent her CV to 30 job posts, and she got 7 replies, 3 interviews, and 2 job offers at the end. So that's how we were. In the meantime, we were also helping a lot of other of our friends that were having similar problems in their job search, and they were struggling to find a job. So we understood that actually many people were struggling from the same problem, which is they didn't know how to write a CV. So what we understood is that from our little idea of helping our friends and some students making CVs, there was actually a viable business model and business potential around it. So we developed a business model to satisfy that business potential, basically. So what we do right now, As ZenCV as a company, we do CV writing and CV design services by professional HRs and designers. So it's a service. You come to our website, you fill out a 5-minute questionnaire. We collect all the data that we need to do your CV. And then our experts make a first draft of your CV, send it over to you. You send some feedback, and then we iterate until the client is happy 100%. That's the flagship product that we have, but we don't focus only on CVs. So what ZenCV does is cover all the steps of the job application journey, starting from professional orientation. Do I understand what my talents and my skills are? What do I like? What do I want to do? What am I good at? What can I be paid for? So answering those questions is also what we do as a service. That's the first step, let's say the professional compass. Then the second step is, of course, writing the CV. The third step would be once you're on the interview, how to behave, how to make sure you maximize your chances with the HR in the first round of interview and also subsequent rounds. And then the last product that we're still working on that we don't have ready yet is we would like to build a base of educational material to help our subscribers have all the material that they might need to start killing it once they are on the job. So soft skills, hard skills, all the things that people need to excel at the job once they're there. We would like to cover that step as well. That is the base that we're working on right now. But in the future, what we would actually like to do is we would like to build a machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithm that is going to learn to imitate the HR while writing the CV and while performing interviews. So actually, as we have many flows between our HRs and our clients, we're actually going to create an algorithm which is going to imitate the way in which the HR constructs the sentences, starts writing the CV, analyzes the candidate, and so forth. So we're gonna, in the future, we plan to build 2 main products. The first one is gonna be like an artificial intelligence, conversational artificial intelligence CV builder. So basically you're gonna be coming to our website, you're gonna start talking to the machine like you would be talking to me in real life. And based on the data that you would be saying, the algorithm would collect all the segments of your CV and would give a PDF CV output as the product of your interaction. And also, we plan to integrate and embed videos instead of photos in the CV. So we plan to revolutionize the CV market by creating something kind of like the newspapers in Harry Potter. So we imagine the future of CVs to be a little bit more advanced than it was 20 years ago. We see the future as CVs where video is complementary to the facts that are within the CV, because all the data that's within the CV is very, very factual, not really giving any kind of input on how this person is on an individual level, on a personal level. And what HRs and recruiters are trying to understand when hiring is, okay, does this person have the right experience, skills, education, and so forth? But also, is this person going to fit the team that they already have in place? Is this person going to fit the company culture and so forth? And that can only be seen through the character. So by embedding videos in CVs, we estimate that this problem would be solved. That's the first product that we're going to be working on in the future. And the second one is going to be a business to business, so B2B solution, where our conversational HR AI, so we're going to build an algorithm of artificial intelligence that is going to be able to interview people and substitute the HRs in the first round of interviews. And we're going to offer that solution to big corporations, B2B, and they are going to basically save many hours in man work for the first round of interview. We're also going to maximize the talent acquisition by interviewing all the applicants to the job, not only a limited section like top 3 or 4 or 5 candidates. And we're also going to remove the human bias and ethnical bias from recruiting by making the method, let's say, scientific, objective, and computerized.
So Vladimir, we have some questions for you right away. So you talked a little bit about the product. Can you tell us more about the geography of your business It is an online service essentially. I don't think you're bound by a specific, national border. So where does your customers come from?
Yeah. Okay. So but the business is currently legally in the UK, but our team is scattered across Europe. We are in Milan, Serbia, Spain, and England. But our business reach is global. So we're an online business, and we accept customers from all over the world. Most of our customers are in the English-speaking markets, but we're not specifically limited to any specific geography.
And in terms of the languages, so I understand you offer your services in English or for English language CVs and cover letters.
Correct.
Do you work with any other languages?
Yep, we support 3 additional languages next to English. We support Italian, Spanish, and Serbian. And we are working on other European languages like German and French.
Now, going back to geography, so where do most of your customers come from? So I understand that you are open to serving customers from any country, but I bet most of them, or there is some still, some countries that are more sort of populous or where the demand for your product is a little bit. Basically, what countries do you generate most of your revenue from?
Okay, a very good question. So far, most of our customers did come from Italy because our previous website was with the .it Italian domain,
Mm-hmm.
but our new website is going to be .com. So I predict that most of our future clients will actually come from the USA.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Also in terms of marketing, so how do you, well, I guess before we get into how you advertise yourself, tell us more about how you differentiate yourself from other competitors.
Sure.
So I understand there are many companies that offer sort of CV development services.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I imagine there are probably dozens, if not hundreds worldwide.
Correct.
So one, are there things that make you different, and do you try to emphasize them, or do you just compete sort of in the same niche and just hope that more customers will choose you? So how does it work with the competition here?
Very good question. So we differentiate on multiple dimensions. The first dimension would be the uniqueness of the service. There are currently many competitors in the market that offer CV writing services and many competitors that offer CV design services, but there are none that offer both. So our first point of differentiation is that we do both the CV design and CV content in one package. Secondly, the ones that do CV design, the design that you get for your CV is not ATS optimized. What does that mean? ATS is an applicant tracking software which big corporations use to filter out the weed, to filter out the bad candidates, so that they interview only the top 5 or 10 or 15%. And when you have a very graphically intense and colorful and the CV full of pictures, that kind of confuses the ATS system, the software, the bot. So the bot just eliminates your CV. And what we did, we actually reverse engineered the ATS software. So we know how to make CVs that are beautiful both for the human and for the robotic eye. So the contents are written by the HRs, the design is made by professional designers, and then we do our secret magic sauce, and we create a version that is beautiful both to the human eye, but doesn't confuse the ATS.
Can you maybe share your screen and show some examples of those CVs? I've seen quite a few of them as we've been working together, but I bet many students who are watching now may not necessarily understand what you're talking about. And while Vladimir is opening his screen or looking for his, let me show you very briefly what a CV looks like in my sort of world. Like if I go to my own CV here, so the academic CVs, at least in the United States, look kind of boring. So is it opening? Yeah, right here. Mm-hmm. So this is mine. And as you can see, it's basically just boring text. But yeah, this is sort of the standard for the academic jobs. If I started adding pictures or making it colorful, it would look a little, it would not conform to the standard.
It's not appropriate. I agree.
So I only list my education years, degrees, work experience, again, where I work, what I did, years, and then a huge portion of my CV is basically my publications. I think it's not fully updated, so I need to add a couple more. But there is really not much else I can do with it in my world, so I cannot get too creative. But then for some other industries, or perhaps for some outside academia, there is some freedom as to how you design your CV. And even within the academic world, you can make a lot of mistakes. Even though you have a very strict format, you can still make a lot of mistakes. So Vladimir, if you can show us some of your work here, I'm just, because some of them literally, you look at it and it's, so let's see if you can, oh, I think I need to give you just a second, make co-host. I think that's the new requirement.
Exactly.
At Zoom. So,
by the way, good job for spelling out our, not only spelling, but putting our logo perfectly with the small E and the small N and the big CV.
well, yeah. I always write the name of the company in the background because then we do like 12, 15 webinars, almost back to back. And when you have the video, sometimes it's hard to determine which one you're looking at. So that
it helps.
So yeah, we see. So is that a good one or a bad one?
So this is a bad one. This is actually the old CV from my fiance that she sent to 50 companies and she got 0 replies. And the new one that we made for her was this one. This was the one that won her 7 replies, 3 interviews, and 2 job offers at the end. Of course, she is in the marketing field, so we don't make rainbows and unicorns for academia, for finance, and those more strict environments.
Can you enlarge it a little bit, the picture, so that we can see?
Definitely. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so yeah, big difference.
Yep. And then we have some other examples. For example, this one on the left is a bit more minimalist for an architectural studio. The one on the right was for a marketing manager position application. She got the job successfully. The one on the left was a job in banking. The one on the right was for a senior marketing manager position. And on average, our case studies are showing that our clients are getting up to 400% more interviews, and once on the interview, they are able to negotiate even up to 53% higher salaries. Because it doesn't happen all the time, but on average, they get 10 or 20% higher salaries, and sometimes even up to 53%. For example, this lady here on the right, she didn't even have a CV, so we did a complete rework of her CV, and she was able to step up from senior marketing manager in L'Oreal. She got EMEA marketing director and 53% higher salary.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, but yeah, these are beautiful looking documents. I mean, that's not a boring, text only resume. It actually looks, you use some creative graphics I see here for the timeline or for the experience level, skills. Yeah,
Correct.
That's very interesting. And so this one, it is English. It's just the L'Oreal is the name. So I thought it was in French. So, but yeah, okay, that's just the name of the company.
Yeah.
Now, another question I have for you is, you talked so much about, kind of the more holistic approach. It seems to me that now it's become almost standard to expect some sort of social media presence, particularly LinkedIn. And again, many people don't have a LinkedIn profile. Some like myself kind of have it, but don't really care that much about it. Again, in the academic world, we don't really use LinkedIn that much. We use Academy of Management and Academy of Business, platforms for communication. But I hear that in the sort of outside academia, it is now a very important sort of factor. And from what I hear, people, when they apply for jobs, it's very likely that the employers, prospective employers, especially when they get to the point where the candidate seems very interesting, they will check out your kind of social media presence. Now, do you offer any support and help with all those LinkedIn and whatever other platforms so that you can look there professionally, or how does it work?
Yes, that's a very good question. So CV is just one of the many marketing strategies that you could use to advertise yourself to employers. It's a push marketing strategy. Just like you see ads on Google, sending a CV is sending your personal ad to the employer. On the other side, there are other ways that you can market yourself. The pull marketing strategy would be creating a beautiful LinkedIn profile, and you're like a beautiful flower, and then little bees or recruiters come to your profile. They smell it, they like it, or they might not like it. So having a beautiful CV is definitely not enough. Recruiters are going to check your LinkedIn profile in 95% of the cases at some later stage. So having a professional presence also on LinkedIn is, I would say, fundamental. landing a good job.
So do you
So yes,
offer any help in that domain?
yes, we do. We have a service called LinkedIn Optimization, and we offer it as a complementary service to making the CV, where we basically, once we've created your professional profile, we put it in the CV. We, let's say, adapt the type of content also for the LinkedIn, and we put it over there as well.
Mm-hmm. There is another question from a student here who asks about the geography. So the question here is, may I know what are some of the markets or countries that you're particularly interested in? So you already mentioned the United States. Are there any other countries that you're specifically interested?
We're most interested in the USA because it's the biggest and most lucrative market. We are interested in Europe, and we are interested in the stronger countries, economically stronger countries in Asia. So talking about Japan, Singapore, India is also pretty strong in the major cities now, per capita. So those are our major English-speaking markets with stronger economic potential. That would be our first point of penetration.
There is a question from Arkadeep about your essentially subscriber model. So how do you charge for your services? Is it a subscription based? Is it per resume?
Very good question. Okay, so what we do right now, we offer our services as a one-time purchase. But in the future, we're going to be offering our services as a one-time purchase, plus you can subscribe on a monthly basis to our educational materials. And also we will be building that conversational CV builder with video, which is also going to be on a subscription basis.
So when you say one-time basis, you mean like one job search or one document, or how does it work? Let's say I'm looking for a job. I'll probably be applying to, I don't know, 50 companies or whatever I can find, possibly even different industries. Let's say I want to be an office worker, whatever that means. And so, but I don't really care what kind of company it is, as long as they pay and are in a good location, I'm fine. So in that case, when I hire you for the service, would it be one resume universal? Would it be for different, industries, jobs? How exactly does it work?
Yeah, so what we do is our pricing is per resume. So we make one resume and there is a certain price. Of course, if you want certain variations, if you want 3 different versions of your CV, we don't charge you triple. We charge you maybe 20 or 30% more, depending on how different are the different job positions where you want to apply. But at the very end, we try to give you a basic structure of the strongest traits within your profile, and then we try to consult our clients on how to adapt their CV to different potential job positions, and the file that they receive at the end is editable so that they can tweak it a little bit and adapt it.
And in terms of the payments then, is it the same price for all of the countries, fixed fee, or are there different prices for either different regions or different types of service?
The main pricing categorization that we have currently is per age. So if you're under 25, the pricing is adapted to students. If you're 25 to 30, the pricing is a little bit higher, 30 to 35, around 100. And if you go 35 plus, the price is around 130 per CV.
That's basically commensurable with sort of income level in a sense, or professionalist. That's interesting. That makes sense.
Exactly. It makes sense. And also it makes sense from our side, because if we have to do a CV of a person that has 20 years of experience, it's probably a 4-page CV. So there is 4 times as much work compared to a student CV.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And for other services, we also offer them on a one-time basis. Sorry.
And there's a question here. So you mentioned that something is provided for free. And so the question is, what are the services that you provide for free, if any?
Okay, what we do for free is currently we offer a cover letter template. So it's a template that was adapted to the industry of the candidate and is not personalized, not unique. Of course, it's a template, but for someone that doesn't have anything, could be a helpful starting point. And we offer also a free design of your cover letter. So we give them the template with the preset text plus the preset design for their industry, and design is also matching the CV. That's what we do for free once you purchase the CV. But before you purchase the CV, what we do free evaluations of CVs. So you can send us your CV on our website, and HR will take a look and we'll provide send you back a document with comprehensive feedback on your CV.
So several students asking, so how much are these services? I mean, how much is the package for different age groups?
Okay, I have it.
Can we do one more thing before you tell us? Let me ask students here. So how much do you think a service like this should cost? Like, what would be your, just curious, just type in the Q&A or the chat window, just the number, you know, how many dollars, US dollars, do you think a company should be charging for a service like this? And I'll be honest, well, now I know how much it is, but I'll be honest, when I first was faced with it, I had no idea what to, you know, like how much it should be. On the one hand, I mean, I suppose, you know, it shouldn't be too expensive in the sense that, you know, I'm guessing it will probably take several hours of work of someone, so plus some profit margin, so maybe not too much. On the other hand, we're talking about a difference of getting or not getting the job. And especially the statistics that you provided today that potentially not only get the job, but you can get 10, 20, 30, or even more percent more. So depending on the salary, I mean, we are talking about several $1,000s more per year.
For sure.
Because, so, you know, it seems like it's a very, very good, you know, investment. And so we have here estimates. So Pfizer believes that it should be $60. Cheyenne believes that it should be $150 to $200. Anyone else? I personally believe that it probably should be even more than that, or at least, you know, given the sort of the cost of the question. So, but I don't know. Yeah. So what was the answer? How much are those services normally cost? And perhaps even also, what is the industry average? Are you charging more or less compared to the industry average? How does it work?
So we don't customize our pricing based on industry yet. We plan to do it in the future, and we plan also to customize our pricing based on geography. So if a person coming from the USA, our website will register their IP address and we'll adapt the pricing, showing it in, of course, in US dollars, and also making it a little bit higher because the purchasing power potential is higher in the USA, of course. And if we were doing the same for, I don't know, Somalia, maybe the pricing is going to be adapted to their GDP. So, sorry, the question was.
So the question is then, how much do you normally charge now?
Okay.
And when I say industry average, I'm just curious, how does it compare to the competition prices?
So our student packages cut the competition prices 400 or 500%, meaning that our competitors charge 150, we charge between 30 and 40 and 50.
Ah, so the $60 figure was not an underestimate? Okay, I thought it would be more expensive. Okay, all right.
Yeah. We do so because we know that students around the world really struggle in making CVs, and also don't have enough funds to cover the expensive CV writing costs. So it's mostly an empathic decision. We make the least amount of money on students, of course. We may make the most part of our money on senior experts. But yeah, that's the pricing. That's our way of trying to.
That's the beginning.
To give back a little bit.
How much would be the kind of the most comprehensive package for someone with 30 years of experience cost?
Most comprehensive package for someone with 30 years of experience would be, so including LinkedIn optimization, including a customized cover letter written, a design of the cover letter, including a psychological test that we're also doing, including a LinkedIn optimization, including, we have also professional orientation services, would be around 450 euros.
Very, very reasonable. So about what, $500 or something like that? Yeah, that's reasonable. You mentioned also that you can provide, or you do provide some, you said training or learning services or materials. So is that something like a newsletter, or is it more like some guides on how to do things?
So they're going to be mostly in the masterclass format, so video format. And we're going to have two main categories. We're going to have a soft skill category, so covering emotional intelligence, social intelligence, presentation skills, all kinds of soft skills. There are going to be multiple master classes. And on the part of the hard skills, it's a little bit more difficult to cover everything because there are so many different hard skills for many different industries. So what we plan to do there, we plan to partner with some companies that already have done this and offer their kind of video content and material on our platform. And also not only video content, but some kind of quizzes, games, stuff like that. In addition to the newsletter.
And so back to marketing then. So how do you advertise your services at this time? Again, hopefully students will come up with even better ways to advertise it. But for now, what's the method that seems to be working best for you?
So what we've been doing so far, we've been using LinkedIn and social media marketing, meaning we've been investing in creating organic content, and through that organic content, certain people notice us, they see that our content is high quality, and then they come and buy our service. But mostly 90%, we still didn't start investing heavily in marketing because we're still working on building a new website and making sure all the systems, front and back end, are integrated so that once the client fills everything on the website, it jumps into our Asana, the project manager gets notified, and everything can start smoothly. We're not ready to scale before we smooth that out 100%. But we will have that by the end of the month. And what we plan to do is we plan to start using LinkedIn and using a specific tool called CRM Octopus, which is basically a software, a bot that you install in addition to your LinkedIn profile. And you basically you can leave the bot working on in your Chrome windows. You can raise your hands away from the keyboard, and the bot starts adding people on LinkedIn and sends them a personalized message promoting your services. And what we did so far, when we sent around 1,000 messages, we got around 2 or 3 clients. So you can send 100 messages per day per person. We're going to be 10 people in the team, so we're going to be sending 1,000 messages per day. So we expect around 2-3 clients per day to boost our business in the beginning, first 2-3 months, and then we're going to use that money that we get from that initiative and invest in some more effective Google ads and stuff like that.
That's very interesting. So again, one day I'd like to learn more about this. So as you know, at XCulture, we are now trying to offer our program not only to the university students, which we have almost too many that we can handle, but also we are experimenting with pre-college teens and professionals. And so there is a lot of demand as is. So we have over 1,000 applications for this semester, but at some point we may be able to scale up. And so I would be interested in kind of learning about these interesting tricks. So, or at least tool names, maybe we can use some of that as well.
This is a very cost-effective solution. It costs only $15 per month to have one bot active.
Is it called CRM Octopus?
Octopus CRM, yep.
Octopus CRM, interesting, yes. So we need to explore it, yeah. Again, for the students, I would be paying close attention to all of these sort of, tools and ideas and methods, because tomorrow you will have to advertise your business. I assume many of you, well, some of you will probably get jobs, 8 to 5 in the corporate world, and you'll do what the boss tells you to do. But I assume many of you will be experimenting with your own businesses. And if so, these are the things that you will be sort of, handling as well. All right, so it seems like we've gone through all of the questions. We have 4 or 5 webinars with Zen CV recorded last year. So a lot of materials to look at. And Zen CV is another thing I forgot to mention, the third reason why I like this company. They do take our students very seriously. So it's the only company that offered to offer weekly kind of open office hours. So there is a link in the webinar file to Google Meet, I believe, where Vladimir will be available to you for a certain time. I think it's every Friday. So if you have any questions, if you want to get feedback on your work, if you would like to maybe discuss anything else, he will be available. He will make himself available to you for something like an hour or something every Friday. Again, no other company does it. Most of the companies want to minimize their valuable time investment. So they would have sometimes 2 webinars, sometimes maybe available for occasional questions, but not on a regular schedule every week. So if you have any questions remaining, look at that link, and you can always connect and ask those questions later on, or just send an email to us. As always, we will forward it to the company if we don't know the answer yet. So you'll get more information that way. And there is one question.
Can I paste the link into
yes, please do. Yeah. In fact, if you want to maybe share the screen, let me meanwhile make sure that we do have it in our general file. I'm pretty sure we do. So while we are pasting the link, so let me just go here. Yes, so if I can share my screen, so there is a file that we use with all of the students where they can find the list of upcoming webinars. So these are the ones that will happen soon. So we had one, I didn't update it, so these were a few hours ago. then Zen CV here. And then when you go to Zen CV here, you also have the link. So it will be every Tuesday, sorry, not every Friday, every Tuesday, 12:45 p.m. New York time. I think it will be end of the working day in Italy. And
6:45 to 7:15 Central European, yep.
Central European time, yeah. So, and here is the link. So at this time, each week you can connect with Vladimir or whoever else will be available from the company. And as you can see, this is the only company that does it. All the other ones don't. But yes, you also have links to the older webinars. So I think I included 3, although I believe we had more. And then obviously we will
I think the 3 are all of them actually.
Could be. Okay, maybe then that's all. Yeah, yeah. I just remember that we had quite a few webinars with you. Again, some companies try to minimize the time. And there is a question for me here. What is the company selection going to be like during the GVT phase? Will we choose the company or will it be assigned? Good question. No, you can choose the company. So there are a total of, I believe, 12 companies now, and there are 2 more companies that want to join us. So we will probably add them as well. Although again, for the late track, we will see how things go. Sometimes I like to reduce the number of companies for the late track. If any of the companies are not very, how should I put it, not taking it seriously enough. So sometimes we have a company that signs up, wants to get the help, but don't want to provide the sort of the necessary engagement, meaning that, you know, sometimes the student has a question and we have to wait for days to get the reply. Sometimes, you know, they're late for the webinar. I understand that the CEOs are busy and not always have the time for it, but obviously that's also a problem for the students because they, you know, take on the assignment, they want to work on it, and then they wait and wait and there is no reply. So we will have up to 14 companies in the late track, although we may be, we'll see, but we may drop a couple. So there will be maybe only 10 left. But in any case, there is a list of companies. You can work on any of those challenges and you can even change the company in the middle of the semester. Again, I've seen some switches in the middle of the semester actually in favor of Zen CV. Again, a team signs up, you know, to work on a challenge. They have a hard time getting hold of the company representative and they see Zen CV does webinar after webinar and seem to be extremely interested in your input. And they think, you know what, I'd better work for this company. So sometimes they even switch in the middle of the semester, which is perfectly fine. So for the company, usually, you know, the more sort of support they provide, the better input they get. So
we really believe in close engagement with the students. That's why we do weekly webinars. You're going to have much better info coming from us directly, answering your doubts. You're also going to learn much more, and we're going to get a better output. Plus, what I would like to say is that we offer very cool surprises. So make sure to read our complete brief. If you perform some of the tasks well, you might get even internship opportunities in our company, or even free services up to 100% based on the quality of your output. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one more question. May I know if you had any positive, significant contributors or insight by previous X-Culture groups and what they were? So, or in other words, what were the things that X-Culture teams provided that you found useful? But let me also reverse that question. Was there anything that you found not very useful that maybe students should not be spending too much time on?
That's a very good question. Long story short, good things is we got some really good marketing material from students. They were making CV examples for James Bond, Superman, I believe also Spider-Man, and the input that we got in some cases was very creative, also very professionally done. Also, we received some very nicely written blog articles, especially from native speaking American students. On the other side, what was bad, somehow we saw that all of the students were suggesting a business model and the pricing exactly the same as all of our competitors, even though our service is actually a service. It's not a product. It's not a do-it-yourself product. Somehow the students were suggesting that our pricing should be 14 euros per month, even though we do it which didn't make any sense in my opinion.
Yeah, so yeah, be careful and do your research before you make suggestions, because yes, and you're absolutely right, Vladimir, there are some services that offer sort of CV services, but that's either an automated sort of, you know, template, or some, obscure guy somewhere in, let's say, somewhere in Asia who says, I can, write your CV for $8. And then you basically get text only, like little simple things. So it's important to, to think about the pricing model that is commensurable with the amount of service you offer. Not to mention that, again, I imagine that one client probably costs you several hours of your employee time. And so the employee needs to be compensated, plus there must be some sort of a profit margin there to pay.
Around 5 or 6 hours per CV, yeah.
Yes, so you cannot do it for 14 euros, obviously. So that's
definitely
a different type of product. So make sure that you're sort of cognizant of that difference. All right, well, let's stop here. Thank you so much. And then, so the students will have an opportunity to talk to you on a regular basis every Friday. And maybe we'll see if we want to do another webinar kind of.
Sorry, I think it's Tuesday.
Tuesday, sorry.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Tuesday, sorry. But yeah, we'll see if we want to maybe do another, either, a bigger webinar for all of the students, or if those weekly meetings will be sufficient. So let's play it by the ear, and you will have a better sense of what's necessary.
Sure. We also have a Facebook group, as you can see in the brief, so feel free to join. We are very active in answering all the questions. See you there.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Vasil. Always a pleasure. See you in the next one, perhaps.
Bye-bye.